Hi everybody, welcome back to Bearded Reef. My name's Ross, and in this video it's part 2 of the little Pico Tank build. Okay, hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Like I said, my name's Ross, this is Bearded Reef, and in this video it's part 2 of the little Pico Tank build. So if you haven't seen the previous video, I'll go and check out that one. That'll explain what we're going to do. But long and short of it is, in this video, now I don't know how far we'll get with the build, but we're going to be making a start to the little Pico Tank build. Now, I just want to say a massive thank you to Pico Tank for sending me this tank out. If you haven't already, if you could check out the P-Tank website, I'll put all the details here on the screen, and I'll put in the description below. But I just want to say a huge thank you to the guys there. You know, we've worked together to try and get this designed perfectly for saltwater aquariums now. It was predominantly a freshwater tank, so made a few tweaks, a few changes, and hopefully it's going to be really good. So yeah, check out the previous video. A few things will be different in this video, the changes that we've made. I'll list all them and show you that anyway, but like I said, we'll jump in, we're going to get started, see how we get on, and we'll go from there. Now I don't know, like I said, how far we're going to get in this video. I'm going to start doing this. Now there is some test pieces, I might glue test pieces together, do a couple of trials, build the thing up dry, see how we get on. I'm not really sure where the video is going to go, but just I'll do this wee intro first to show you that, yeah, this is really what we're going to be doing, is the Pico Tank build. So part 1 of this series kind of explains what's what. This video should hopefully be me actually building the tank. So yeah, I'm going to get things set up. A couple of things you'll need for this. Now I've got one of these kind of art boards here that I'm going to sit down. Now you do need to do this in a well ventilated area, more so when you're doing the gluing of it, because the glue's actually got some toxic vapours from that, so you don't want to be breathing them in. So you need to do it in a really well ventilated area. It is really, really cold, middle of winter here. I don't really know if it's suitable to do it in the garage with the temperatures, so I might be doing it just at the back door. The patio door's open, so I've got a good flow of air coming through. I'm not really decided yet, but we'll jump into that in a minute anyway. But just make sure, if you have ordered one of these tanks, you follow all the instructions. Instructions will be sent out to you when you order the tank, and you'll be able to build it. But yeah, so let's dive in, let's have a look at it and see where we're going to go. Okay, so first things first, as you'll see, I've got this little mat down here just to kind of protect things a little bit. I'm going to go ahead with these 2 test pieces and join them together. Now, these are 2 pieces of acrylic, exactly the same size as what the tank is, but they have got kind of covers on both sides of them. As well as that, you'll need the acrylic cement, which is this Anglisol 1200 that I'm using. When you're using this, you're going to need to make sure that you've got loads of ventilation. I've got the patio doors open here, the house has kind of got a draft coming through it. Do recommend you do this outside and not inside, but it's freezing cold today, so I'm doing it inside. Might regret that in a little minute, but we'll try it and see anyway. So other thing you need to remember is these nitrile gloves. They're a must-have. You can't have this on you at all. So I'll get things set up and we'll try and do this test piece. Okay, so I've got the gloves on now. Got little tweezers just for peeling this sticker off. I've got some kitchen roll as well, so hopefully that'll come in handy. A tin of baked beans and a tin of tomato soup. You'll see what I need these for in a minute, but yeah, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to leave the side that says test on it. I don't know if that's right or not. I'm going to try and get this side here off. So you can see that peels off there like that. Do the same for the other one, I'll get things ready and we'll join you again. Okay, so that's the paper off the 2 test pieces. I left that on one side, but paper's off the other side. So all I'm going to do is line these up. Now the reason that I've got the beans is that I'll put one on one side, one on the other side, just to hold it in place. I might actually have to level this up a bit so I can put that there to see. Now, I have no idea how much glue I need to put on this. This is just going to be a test it and see, basically. So this might be a disaster, it might not, who knows. We'll soon find out though. Okay, so I'm going to give this a really good shake and then we'll come back and have a look at this. Okay, so that's a bead on there. Now what you want to do is just use this end here. Make sure it's square there. And square there. Now obviously this is a bit easier because it's a smaller test piece, but what I'm going to do is just set that can there. I'm going to leave that for about half an hour, I would say. So we'll leave that for half an hour, I'll come back and I'll see you then. Okay, so that's been 35 minutes now. We'll take this stuff off and we'll have a look and see if I managed to ruin it or not. Moment of truth. Okay, so it doesn't actually look too bad, to be honest. Feels solid. Whether it would hold water is a different story, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. There might be a little spot at the end here that it's not went into. Now I think from everything the instructions have said is use more glue than what you think you need. Now I just used a tiny amount there and you can see it's sealed pretty much the whole way along. Apart from that very end bit there, which is actually where I started, so yeah, not too bad for a test. I think we'll probably be able to go on and do the main event now. I might try filling in this bit first actually and just see if I can fill in anything with this. I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but we'll soon find out. Okay, so I've put a bit more in that corner. I'm going to leave that for a while, let it set, see how it is, and go from there. So it's getting a bit late tonight now, it's probably going to be tomorrow by the time I do this. I'll keep this in the same video though, but I'll join you guys again tomorrow, and we'll crack on with making the rest of the tank.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so first things first before we start this, I've sped up quite a lot of these clips because the video is actually going to end up being an hour long, so I've sped up quite a lot, but this is the test piece. You can see on the right hand side there where I had put the glue on it. Seems to be okay, so I'm quite happy with that. I think we can move on to building the tank now. Okay, so this is the parts that I'm going to need straight away. You've got the front and back here, the two sides and the base. So laid them all out. Front, that's the base there. Now these have got bits on the side that you can actually peel off. So if you look down here, all these bits are actually lasered out. So you can just peel the bits off that you're wanting to stick down. Therefore, you're not getting glue on everything that's your good faces. So you peel off the bit you want to glue, leave the rest and peel them off later. Quite a good idea, so I actually really like that, but yeah. Okay, so like I say, I have sped these clips up. I'm just doing a voiceover of this because they were sped up and it was chipmunk style, but we'll peel off the outer edge of this bit here, just so that we can get the glue on. There's no point in gluing to a sticker that's going to come off again. Not a great idea. So I'll peel this bit off here. Now this is the outer edge, which means I can get the two sides, the front and the back on it, and get them glued down. So that just comes off there, and we're left with a clean surface. So don't need to do it with the sides because they've already got the bottom taken off them. Just need to get it lined up, make sure that everything is perfect. Take your time, just do it properly. You want to leave the 5mm at either end for the acrylic to go on the front and back. Make sure it's all lined up. Now I do this dry first to make sure I can get everything perfect before I actually glue anything down, which I think is the best way to do it, but you'll find your own way. Okay, so this is how I'm propping everything up now. I'm using 2 tins, doesn't matter what it is, you can use tins of anything, but like I say, leave the 5mm at the front and back. It's all marked there. Make sure your markings are lined up for where your weir goes. Everything at right angles there. You can use these little pieces here, it's the test piece, just to make sure it's at a right angle. If not, just move your cans to get it lined up perfectly. Now I know I'm taking this back off again, but I just want to make sure I can do it. Okay, so gloves on, shake up the glue. I say glue, it's cement really. Now you want to run a bead down the full length of that side there. Actually, you want to leave 5mm top and bottom, should I say. You don't want to cover the end where it's going to be, so just enough so that when you lay this down, it's going to spread out into it. Now I put the tin of beans behind there, just to give a bit of support while I'm doing this. Other tin on the inside, get things lined up. And then you take your test pieces, use them as a right angle just to make sure that everything's perfect in place. Check the width for your front and back so you've got enough space left that you can get the front and back panels on. As long as you've got all your marks lined up, everything will be fine on this. So it isn't difficult, you just need to take your time and concentrate on what you're doing. You'll see here I'm checking and checking and checking again. You want to make sure this is right. This is probably the most important bit. If this is off, your whole tank's going to be off. So make sure this first stage is perfect. I used one of the front panels there just to check that, but yeah. Okay, so that is it there. As you can see, the glue has dried in that bit. That is it all set up. So I'm quite happy with the way that that's sitting there. I can remove this tin. Now that's been half an hour since I actually put the glue on. It's dried now, and as you can see, quite a neat finish on there. Obviously I've left the white plastic on there. I'll peel that off at a later stage. But yeah, sets within half an hour. It's set enough that you can work on. Probably quicker than that, but as you'll see here, some of that glue actually comes off with this tin. Just a little bit kind of jelly type. Doesn't matter about that, you can just peel that off. Your actual main glue's in the joints, so I'm saying it doesn't matter about that. I've not done a water test yet, so I'll tell you once I do the leak test and see if it does actually leak. But I think it should be okay. Okay, so to the opposite side. So you want to make sure you've peeled off this little bit here. That's for your weir to go in. So I've done that at the bottom, the two sides, and now it's just the same process on the other side. Glue along the bottom and make sure everything's square. So you'll see here, I turn it round, another little test fit just to make sure everything's okay. Then what I'm going to do here, run a bead of the cement along the bottom. Now again, make sure you don't cover the last 5mm on each side. You want to make sure you leave that so there's enough on it. You'll do that at a later stage, but yeah, stick that down, make sure it's stuck down well, make sure it's lined up right. This is the most important bit. Make sure everything is perfect here. Cannot stress this enough. Just take your time, do it right, and you can't really go wrong. So yeah, make sure everything is perfect here. Job done. So the way I do this is I use the actual weir section just to make sure that it's all perfectly straight. This isn't getting glued in here, it's purely just sat in there, and yeah, it's pretty easy actually. You can straighten it up nice enough. So if you look down from the top here, you'll see what I mean. I've got the tin of beans in there just to keep the weight down really, that's all it is, and everything lined up. So that's the two sides in place. We'll leave them to dry for half an hour, come back again. Okay, so that's it dried. There's been half an hour, and as you can see, quite a nice finish on that. Perfect angles on there, I've checked them, so that's all good. Both sides are good. And yeah, it's so far so good anyway. So the next step we'll move on to, but I just wanted to show you really where we're at now. So the next step you'll see in the next clip. Okay, so the next step is what's going to be the front of the tank. So you'll peel off the two edges of the sticker on this. This is just to allow you to put the glue on here. So there's going to be 3 bits of glue goes in this here. I keep saying glue, it's cement, but you know what I mean. So gloves on again. First bit of cement's going to go along the very bottom. Now this goes edge to edge this time because you don't have to leave any space. So full length of this time, and then up the full length of both of these sides here. Once you've done that, you can then set that in place. This is relatively straightforward to line up. Just again, check with your straight edge there to make sure everything's okay. Providing it's all okay, you're good to go. I just wiped a little bit of excess glue off there that I had. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So the way I've held this on is with masking tape. It does say that in instructions, so I've used some masking tape just to hold this on in place here and to allow it to cure properly. It's easier than doing the tins, so that's what I've done with this side. So that's the front and the 2 sides completed now. Just need to wait for this to dry. Okay, so that is it dry actually. I'm just showing you the finish on it here. Looks really nice. Again, still got the white to peel off the front and the back, so don't be concerned, it's not a white tank that I'm building, it is clear. As you can see, peel off the stickers from the inside here now. I'll leave the outside ones on, but I'm peeling off the inside while I can. Now, I've got big fat hands, it's a tiny little tank. I don't want to be shoving my hands in once it's all made, so providing you're at a stage where you're not going to scratch the acrylic, then you can take these off. The key thing is leave them on as long as you can. You do not want to scratch the acrylic. It will scratch really easily. Try your hardest not to scratch it. If you can leave this on longer, great. I didn't want to risk leaving it on longer in case I couldn't get my hands in to get it off. So I'm taking off these first 3 pieces just now. Okay, so last one to do here is just the very front one, which is all 4 pieces of the main display tank removed now on the inside. The outside's still on, but the inside's removed. So just checking, I'm happy with everything here. And we'll move on to the actual rear weir. So this one you need to make sure you can get spot on. So the easiest thing to do is take your lid section, set that on. You'll see now the cable slot at the back. If I move that to the front, it's not going to work. So the cable slot has to be at the back. So this will tell you how you line up your weir. So like I said, if I do it that way, it doesn't work. If I do it this way, perfect. So your logos should be facing the front of the tank, cable at the back. Now, where your hole is for your return pump side is where your pump's going to be. So you want to make sure that that is the right way. So the way I've got it sitting there is the way that I want it to be. We'll set that on there, mock it all up, make sure everything's okay. Then we'll need to remove the stickers and get it all cemented in place. Again, pretty straightforward this part. Just double check. So yeah, I'll peel off these stickers. This is just so I can get the glue down again. So that's the first one peeled off. And we'll remove these ones on this part. This is the rear divider. This is one of the new changes that we made to the tank. So it's now got a split rear chamber. It's got a different overflow and a different return. But yeah, use the tin of beans again, just to get this kind of set up right. Also putting some cement on it. I'll only put the cement along the actual weir piece here. So I run the cement the full length of this little weir piece and set it in place. And once it's sat in place, it's actually really easy. Just check your alignment, put the can in there. Now the other side you probably will need to prop up a bit, so you'll see me putting a bit underneath it here. And then you can just get it lined up perfectly. Use that as your right angle, make sure it's all okay. And leave it to set. So you can see there, that's pretty much how I've done it. You can use magnets and so on, but I just decided to use 2 tins and it works really well, to be fair, so easier and cheaper. Okay, so that's it set now. Again, half an hour or so has passed. I can take that and slide it in the tank now just to make sure. Yeah, perfect. So we'll basically have the overflow there coming in on the left, down in, underneath the bottom, into the return chamber and back into the tank again. think it's a better setup doing it this way than the way we had it before. Okay, so to put this in, now I've done things slightly different from the instructions here. I've went on with the baffle next rather than the rear section, but you'll notice I've peeled the sticker off the bottom. If you leave that in, you won't get it back off again. So peel that sticker off the bottom first, set this in, and then you can glue it up. Now, the instructions tell you should build basically the cube first and then do the baffle. If you leave this back panel off, it's much easier. Now, you'll see why in a bit. So the way that I'm going to do this is actually to secure this back panel and just using tape so I can line things up, get it all right, get it glued in, and go from there. But you'll see in a minute what I mean by that anyway. Okay, so I've taped this back panel on now, as you can see. It's not glued on, it is just taped, so I can remove that at a later stage. Now, what I'm going to do with this is basically turn it on its back, and it makes it much easier to get things lined up. So if I turn it on its back like that, it means that I can get that sat in there. I'm going to glue down the 3 edges of that so that it sits in there. So it's 1, 2, and then I'll do the bottom. Now this will seep into the joints, so you don't need to worry about this massively. So that's that glued in there. Now you just want to check that this is true, right angles. So use that little test piece that you've got, put it in place, make sure you've got everything at right angles there. Shows you it's all square and true. And then just leave that to set. So once it's set, that's everything perfect in there. No issues at all with that, everything looks good. So you can run a bead down the inside, but I haven't bothered to do that. I've just done it on the outside, which to me I think is enough, to be honest. I don't think we need any more than that. Okay, so that is it set. It's been sitting there for a good while now, but we're going to do the lid just now. So the lid comes with a little logo on it there. I've got my little logo on it as well, the Bearded Reef, and the Pico Tank logo. So basically what you need to do with this is, there's a little section at the bottom here, which you need to stick to that bit. So this just stops it wobbling about side to side. So once it's in there, it can actually slide about, you know, side to side on there. It's going to keep it in place. Great idea, just a simple little thing. So what you need to do with this, to peel off this centre section this time, don't need to worry about the outside one, and peel off the inside of this here. That allows you then to stick those two faces together, line everything up perfectly. Now everything's marked out in these, it's really, really simple. So put some glue on here. Now I think I went a bit overkill with the glue on this, to be fair. I don't think you quite need as much as I've put on, but a few spots should see that glue stick strong enough. So stick that on there, leave it to dry, and it should be good. I just want to do that at this stage so that I can line things up at a later stage and it's ready to go. So yeah, on to the next part. Okay, so like I said, that is the weir section done, so we can take this back panel off now, and now things will start to be a bit clearer why I've done it this way rather than the way the instructions say. So if I take this back panel off here, it allows you full access into this rear chamber now. Now, I'm going to put a bio ball in there, maybe some kind of media basket, and my return pump's going to go in here. Now, the return pump does come with a length of hose and a return nozzle. So you'll see in a second why I think this is quite an important way to do it. So your return nozzle is just, the tube's pushed on there like that. It actually just goes through the hole here. Now it's quite a tight fit, so it's not rattling about the place. And then what will happen is your tube will go from the pump there up to your return nozzle and just press into that, which holds everything in place. So the tube's quite a kind of thin, flexible tube, and it will kink. So you need to make sure you've got this perfect length. Now, the only way to do this for me was to leave the back off and do it the way I'm doing it just now. I might regret this, I don't know, we'll see when it comes to water testing it, but I'm just going to cut the ends flush with this Stanley blade so that everything's neat and tidy, and I'll connect it into the pump and into the nozzle so we can get things right. Now the easiest way to do this, if you put it in the pump, take your nozzle back out the hole again, which you'll see in a second, and feed the hose through. Now like I say, this hose will kink really easily, so you need to make sure you've got the least resistance on this possible. So I played about with this to try and get it in the right place. So you'll see here, I've took the nozzle out, feed that through the hole there, and you just want to make sure there's no kinks, least resistance possible, and you can still get the back on. So a bit messing about, but you can do it. So you'll see me try a couple of times here to get the back on just to make sure everything's right, get the right length and so on. I can't tell you exactly what it'll be, it depends where your pump is, so have a play about with it, see where you can figure out where's best for it, get the right length, and then you can cut it to the right side. So you'll see there, that's basically what we're talking about. You can straighten things up a bit before you cut it just to make sure it's at the right angles. So yeah, just check and check again, make sure everything's perfect. Mark where you want to cut it, take it out, stand the blade over it. Got a good cut there, and then it's ready to go back in. So, like I said here, I'll just show you actually quickly how we put this on. So, I'm just going to connect this on here. But to do it, basically what you want to do is just shove the tube over the end of that there. Now, it is quite a tight fit. You can put it in hot water to make things a bit easier. I'm just shoving it on to make it there. But yeah, that's basically what you're looking for. So, if you put that back through the hole again, and from the outside here, it allows you to do that. Now, you can see why this is much easier without that back panel on to do all this. So yeah, make sure that's on there tight, put it in there, make sure you've got no kinks in the hose whatsoever, and we're good to go. So that there is how you fit the filtration into this. Very, very simple, very easy. Like I say, I think I'm going to get some kind of small media basket to go in there. And yeah, the back can go in there now. So that is the reason why I done it a slightly different way. Not saying it's the better way, not saying it's the right way, but it's the way I done it. So just one final check to make sure everything's okay. Move your pump about to suit. Once you're happy with it, you can go to the next stage and glue that back panel on. So, bit of glue, run down the very bottom and the two sides. Now you'll notice I made a mess up of this here. I didn't peel off the stickers first, so I've had to go and do this when the glue's on. Not ideal. If you can peel off the stickers on this first, it makes it a bit easier. So you'll see there, I'll peel off the stickers off this side, off the other side, and then I'm going to peel them off this end panel here. So now that's off, I can sit that down in place. Set it down there just to get things lined up a bit. Once everything's lined up, you're all happy with it. Set that there for the minute, and I'm going to put some more masking tape on this just to hold it in place. Realistically, that is how you build this tank. It's not difficult, it's just time. Take your time, do it right, do it properly, don't rush things, and you should be okay. So this is how it looks once it's built. You can see the inlet chamber there, return chamber, and your main display. I think this is a fantastic little tank, I really, really do. So yeah, this is the final product. I'm going to leave this to dry for 24 hours before I do a water test. I'll come back, next video in this series, we'll show you the water test and how we do everything. But yeah, I just really want to show you the tank as it is. So once again, massive, massive thank you to Pico Tank for sending me this. Hope you guys like it. If you do, go and check out the website, you can get your own from there. And yeah, hopefully you can join me on this little Pico Tank adventure, shall we call it. Still no idea what I'm going to put stock-wise in this. If you've got any ideas, put them down in the comments below, let me know. Next video in the series will be the water test and fitting some more of the equipment. So last but not least, I'm just going to try this little lid on here, just to see, now that it's dried. Obviously still need to peel all the stickers off, but yeah, really nice touch with Bearded Reef on there as well. So thank you again to Pico Tank for that. So one-handed, you'll see, fits on there, cable comes through, beautiful. So thanks very much folks, thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, if you could consider subscribing to the channel, it'd mean a massive amount. Follow on with the journey on here. You'll see I've just put a little lid on there, but that's the lid section for the front. If you haven't already, go and check out the Pico Tank website. And yeah, keep an eye on the channel for more updates on this. We'll do the next video soon. So yeah, thank you very much for watching folks. Hope you're all staying safe out there. Hope you're all doing well. Take care folks. Bye bye.